Hey.
Hello, hello. I heard there's been some good attendance on these lately.
Yeah, well, yesterday was good, and then Laura had really good attendance on Monday.
That's what she said. Laura and Carly said she had good attendance. So
Yeah, it's been good because we haven't like lost that momentum at the end, which sometimes happens. So that's been really good.
yeah. I'm excited to see who jumps on today. Do you want me to have the Ignite up, or do you want to do for the intro, or do you want to just do the?
Why is that doing that? No, I don't want you.
You're like, go away.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know why we're doing that. Yeah, you can have it up or do it later, whatever you want. I will do the accountability and then I'll introduce you and then you can share it at that point if you want.
Perfect.
There we go. I put Turn Your Ding Dong song on. Wait, you'll hear them. Hey, Stacy.
Hey Mara, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. I meant with your, was it your aunt that passed?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry about that.
Thank you. We did find out it was a heart attack,
Oh,
which crazy, but
I'm
I
so
guess
sorry to
like
hear that.
someone was telling me that women with like heart attacks, because me and my husband were like, I feel like if it was a heart attack, they'd be like, she had a heart attack like immediately, right? Like you always see people are like, oh, my chest hurts, my arm hurts. But I guess with females, they can just present with not feeling well. And they don't always like fit that bill of what we would stereotypically think of.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing.
Yeah.
My
So
daughter's actually been sick. She's not heart attack wise,
yeah.
but that's why I wasn't here yesterday. We took her to a doctor's because she's got this huge lump on the side of her neck.
Oh
And she's
no.
had nausea and headaches and I mean all this other stuff that you know can I mean in your mind you're thinking I mean you
The
know the
worst.
absolute
Yeah.
worst, you know, and she's vomiting and everything else, but they said it's just like lymph nodes and so
Okay.
you know she's just home trying to, you know, I might have to leave a little bit early depending on how she's doing because she's home
Okay.
today. But
Okay.
she's just I mean it's you never know because they say one thing, you know, symptoms are
Yep.
one thing, but then you hear all this other stuff and the internet can be either helpful or
Scary. Yeah.
horribly detrimental. You know,
Yeah,
especially for my
totally.
daughter because that's all she's been doing is going online trying to look up what
Google.
anything else it could be and it's
Yep.
you know terrifying me at the same time.
Yeah, it's better to get it out and just know.
Exactly. So we know what to watch for now and they gave her some medicine and so we're just she's home and resting. So
Good. I'm gonna give people one more minute to get on and then we'll just start our accountability.
well, that's my accountability. So
Yeah,
I've
that's
been a
your
little busy.
update.
Exactly. Been a little busy. There's my accountability. Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Did you get everything turned in for your bingo card too?
No, I'm trying to finish. I've got both of the books that are on there, and I'm trying to
Okay.
finish reading the RMEA. I got
MREA. Yep.
yeah, I got the last little part of that, so I'm trying to get that finished tonight, and then I was going to turn it in tomorrow. Is that okay?
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I'm hoping to mark that one off too. So last one on my
Okay.
item list, but I'll get that in tomorrow.
Okay, send me what you have so far, and then I'll know that that one's coming too.
Okay, I will.
Joanna and Young, I know yours have been submitted. Q, you submitted yours, right?
Yes.
Perfect. That's what I thought. Okay, let's start with our accountability. So we did start with Stacy. How is everything with you, Johanna?
Nice. Yesterday I did a home inspection.
Good. Awesome. Were you covering for someone else?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm
awesome.
working with an agent. She's really
Yeah.
busy now. Yes.
Great. Well, good. That was good exposure. So that's awesome. Q, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing all right. I just attended the escrow meeting today.
Oh, good. How was that?
It was very useful, and then I think he did a pretty great job at presenting his information
Good.
as a broker. He was very useful, and I talked to my friend, and he's relocating. I talked to you about him,
Yeah.
and then I called that agent, but I'm like, the feel I got from her was like she was not very interested. So
Oh,
I talked
try a
to
different one then.
I talked to Jim about the agents who are licensed in Washington.
Good.
So I'm gonna call or text all of them and see, and then how willingly they're gonna work with me on this. And then obviously, my friend is working with the Serva, is a relocation company. And then, well, currently my understanding is it's gonna be a very easy ride.
Yeah.
And then obviously the Serva company will pay the commission, and then it's all about how we're gonna split it. So, yep.
Yeah, excellent. Well, if you don't have luck with any of those, let us know and we can definitely get you. There's, a Washington office too that we can connect
Yeah.
with.
All right. Yeah, that's it.
Young, how is everything going with you?
Yeah, always good. Uh,
Good.
I met Selena this morning.
Good.
Yeah, she gave me a lot of information and courage. Yeah,
Good.
it was very helpful to me.
Good. 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 Shanista, I know you're still out of the area, but how's everything been going?
Oh, this is the first time I send client to the agent in California because of that client. He cannot speak English, but he prefer Thai agent, and I cannot find anyone in Keller Williams. And the first time connecting with other firm and process the referral fee, referral between the
Yeah.
company. This is the first time, and then it's just get it done, just got it done. So
Oh, good. Good job.
my first time.
Great. Excellent. Well, I think I've got everyone. Okay. So today we are very lucky. We're doing our very last class of this round. So ending with a bang. Do not worry. Your next round schedule will come out next week, as well as every Monday. If you're a productivity coaching client, you will be receiving kind of like highlights for that week of things to attend or pay attention to if you're available, and some key objectives. So today with Katie, she has been in the real estate industry for 36 years. And that has included some title and escrow, lending, land development, and wealth management. She has 20 years experience as a licensed real estate broker in Oregon, working as a solo agent. Oh, here's Ross. And with top producing teams in Eugene and Medford, where she was an integral member of development team on 4 subdivisions in Eugene and Springfield. She has successfully led Keller Williams Southern Oregon Experience Brokerage Network as a team leader, CEO, and CGO for the last 4 years, growing the market center from 68 to now this is 115, but I think we're more than that now, right?
Yeah, well, I think we go back and forth between like 120 and 115. So I
Okay, right in
feel like
that.
we're right in there.
Perfect. So there's 6 locations in Southern Oregon altogether, which does include Grants Pass, Medford, Klamath Falls, Coos Bay, Roseburg. So she oversees all of those, and we look forward to many more years. Keller Williams, XBN, in the team leader role. Her superpower is consulting and supporting agents to reach their maximum potential. So I'll let you take it away.
Thank you, Mara. Yes, thank you. So many kind words. I do have a lot of experience, and I have been super blessed to teach your final Ignite class. Gosh, Mara, how many times a year do I teach it for? So probably about 12 times now I've taught it.
Yep, sounds about right.
It is my favorite because this sets you up to run your business like a business. And what I've learned about in all my experience is that we have to run our business like a business in order for all your work to see the efforts of, see the results of your efforts. So this is a very interactive class. I expect, and I will ask questions, I will ask for feedback, and we're going to keep you really engaged in this class. Now, we'll talk about numbers. We'll talk about, you don't have to be an accountant. You don't have to be proficient at these things. But we will talk about business of the business. So, woo, slide one up. Are you ready for some interactive fun? Say yes. Say yes. I'm going to, real quick, try to get you back up on my screen. Because when I did this, all your beautiful faces disappeared. Let's see. Let's get the view back for me. Where are... Where'd you go? Okay. There. All right, you're going to have to speak up because I don't, for whatever reason, it is not giving me a gallery view of you folks anymore while I screen share, but that's fine. We will make this happen. There we go. There you are. All right. I am a tech genius along with all the other things that I can do. All right, so how many of you have gone from lesson 1 to lesson 20? Give me a nod or raise a hand. No, you're coming in the middle. Joanna, you've, okay. Feel
Yes,
free to,
yes.
Yeah, Stacy? Yes, no?
I just said yes. Sorry.
Okay.
I got here last week.
Okay, we're going to refer back to some of the stuff at the beginning of the book. Don't worry if you haven't done those things, you will as you go along. And if I mispronounce your name, I've got one of those names too that's spelled funky and pronounced differently. Feel free to correct me. I am that girl. All right, without further ado, let's get into this. Today we're covering Plan Your Future. So as we do every day, we went through your ahas and your wins. Let's start here. We've got somebody joining us. So, would somebody like to read the quote that's on the screen? There's not a...
How you think matters. How you think in the beginning really matters.
Good old Gary with his quotes. You guys, this man, everything he speaks just comes out. What are your thoughts about this quote? What stands out to you?
How you set your foundation really determines kind of like the structure and fragility of your kind of success. You know, do you have a strong foundation or are you building kind of a house of cards?
I think also it's all about mindset, because your mindset and your mind mentally, what you project and what you imagine is like the whole of your existence. And so the way that you begin that, and whether you believe you are or are not going to be successful, is what you're going to be.
I love that, Stacy. Anyone else?
I think you have to learn first to walk before to run. You have to know that basis after you make some creative things.
Yep, you guys all hit the nail on the head. It is about mindset, right? You're going to encounter lots of challenges as a real estate agent. 35 years in this industry, and I'm still, every day, I learn something new about this industry. There's always something that comes up that I might have not encountered before, or it might just be a twist on something I have. So when we say that thinking matters, we're talking about mindset. Throughout Ignite, they've talked about the importance of mindset because mindset matters, not just today, not just during Ignite, but it matters every day. Sometimes your mindset turns into doubt, disappointment, and even fear. And these are times to be aware and quickly correct. It's within your control. You control your mindset. Your mindset does not control you. Now let's examine where you are now compared to where you were at the beginning of Ignite. Some of you might still be at the beginning, so it's a good baseline for you, right? Take a moment to tune in internally. Where is your head? Where is your mindset? And since you're all on this call today, I'm saying your mindset is in the education, right? You're just thirsty for the education. Do you feel aligned with your heart? Is your head and the heart in the same place? Are your feet ready to do the actions needed to have a successful business? What are some of the ways that you've adjusted your thinking, or you may be thinking could use a little improvement? What are some ways you've already adjusted your thinking and maybe changed your action around that? On page 20.3 in your workbook, you can take a minute to write down some of these items in your participation guide. I'm going to follow along with you. There we go. So what's your mindset right now? Is it aligned with your heart? And if it's not, what does your heart want and where does your mindset need to go to get there? Are you ready to take action and have a successful business? My book says stay. My prompt says business. Go ahead and write some notes. Write in there some things that you've already had some adjustments in your thinking. I'm sure when you took the real estate exam and you were excited to become a realtor, you were hopeful you would get a lot of education, but not nearly thinking that you would get so much, right? There's so much to learn. All right. Give you a minute. What are some ways you've already adjusted your thinking? Who would like to share? Who wrote something down for that? Told you, interactive class.
At the beginning, I was really afraid because I don't have the knowledge and I need some training. But at this point, I think I don't know many things, but I have many tools, many people around me, and many sources. That is a good point for me.
Good, good. So your mindset is around removing limited thinking, limiting thoughts, limiting beliefs, because you don't need to come in with your quiver full of arrows, right? We've got the education to help get you there. You know you've got access to the tools. I love that. Anybody else? Do you have an accountability? Are you sharing with your accountability partner? I heard you sharing wins and ahas with Mara. I heard some conversation about how we're structuring our business and creating growth in our business. So you're setting big goals, right? That helps.
For me, I would like to be keen or understand in the real estate industry because I came from a different industry. I came from like toy industry who like buying and selling is just normal and do marketing. But in real estate industry, there is a lot of things to involve. What's the position I would like to be in the whole real estate industry? Either being in sales, being I try to form myself as well by learning in taking many classes in KW to see that which one is best fit for me and for my history. Like I when I step in the beginning, I think that I would like to gear to being the real estate broker and commercial. So because of my contact people, my sphere, most of them are like business owner and have some. So because of I am from Thailand and my sphere is it's like doing either the restaurant business of buying restaurant and selling and buying the house. So I want to put myself in the position to help them uh, process easy transaction in both commercial and residential. That is my set. So,
I love that. I love that. That's a great goal. Becoming the advisor, right? Learning all you can so you can advise these folks in that niche market of restaurants in the commercial venture. That's great. I have someone I need to connect you with. Having a skill set at speaking Thai is going to be helpful also, as you have already noticed that there's very few people that speak the language in this area. And so it's great to have someone who can communicate effectively. So that's a great goal. I love that. Anyone else like to share some ways you've adjusted your thinking or your mindset? All right. Who remembers this? Who's seen this before? Do you know what we call this? The Y4C2Ts. The Y4, yeah, it's got that funny name, right? The Y4C2Ts. Remember that Keller Williams belief system, along with the 6 personal perspectives, helps keep your mindset strong and positive. So by having a win-win attitude, win-win or no deal, showing up in integrity, always doing the right thing, remembering that the customers always come first, and making decisions on behalf of their best interest, having a true commitment in all things, right? Real estate is multifaceted, and you have to be committed to learning, and you have to be committed to advising, and you have to be committed to teaching and coaching and learning the trade. Communication. This is an important one. Seek first to understand. A lot of times, as the advisor, we like to just pontificate and talk about what we know. And It's always best to come from a place of understanding and asking the questions why. Why is that important to you? How did we get here? What would you like to see out of this? These are important things. Creativity, ideas before results. Create that 5-year plan. What do you want? What do you want your big, beautiful life to look like? Get creative and then start building the plan to get results. Teamwork. A productivity coaching program is a great place to see teamwork in action. Together, everyone achieves more. This is a great place for you to bounce ideas off of other people, to get coaching and direction. Trust. This is a two-way street, and it works with everyone you come in contact. Trust starts with honesty. Equity, opportunities for all. We want to run equitable businesses. As your Keller Williams Market Center and as associates out there representing us in the field, we love that. Success results through people. That's one that you'll learn over time. That's a leverage tool. And I saw some of you already doing that through your networks that you have. Success through people. You've checked your mindset, and now let's check back to the original value proposition. You've spent nearly, if you've been here since day one, 4 weeks in the coaching program in Ignite. And you've been doing your daily success system, communicating with your contacts. And now it's time to kind of reevaluate your value proposition. Now, again, if you weren't here, if you didn't start at the beginning, you may not have built one out. Your value proposition is on page 20.4 in your workbook. Oh, I'm sorry. In 4.12. So if you have one, you worked on that in 4.12. So some of you have this, some of you will be working on this. If you haven't done this, please just follow along the best you can. We're going to take a few minutes and review what you wrote on page 4.12. I'm going to flip to that page there. And this was building your value proposition. Ask yourself when you're reading this value proposition or when you're thinking about your value proposition today, does my value proposition truly reflect who I am and the value I bring and the benefit my clients will experience working with me? And am I confident sharing my value proposition with my clients? If not, how can I make it easier to express my value? And so on page 20.4, if you haven't created a value proposition yet, just think about what that might be. If you have one, go ahead and fill out whether or not your value proposition reflects who you are. And if you're confident sharing your value proposition, and if not, what little tweaks can you do to make that easier to share? Some people call your value proposition your 10-second elevator pitch, right? What would you say to someone if you had 10 seconds standing next to them in a line of a grocery store or in an elevator to tell them about what you do? You wouldn't go into this like, I write contracts for people, I show houses, I do home inspections. You would have something really simple to say about what your value proposition is. So go ahead and think about your value proposition. Maybe start scratching one out on page 4.12. Or if you have one there already, go ahead and refine it a little on page 20.4. And if you have a value proposition already, if you've made it through the full Ignite, I think I had a couple on here who had, would you mind sharing your value proposition with us? You heard my value proposition at the beginning of the class. My value proposition is that I enjoy educating and coaching people to reach their fullest potential. So whatever that is in each of the agents, the 117 agents that I get to work with daily, I get to help them reach their fullest potential. And I do that by coaching them. We work on mindset. And my value proposition is just that. You coach people to reach their highest potential. Anybody want to share their value proposition?
My value propositions is first, I am a bilingual Thai and English. Second, I came from the from the business background and e-commerce, and or like I love to analyze data, and also I can interpret and turn it into action for the client benefit if you work with me.
I love that. I love that. You're very confident when you say that. I love that. As you build out your value proposition and you refine it, practice it, right? Practice it. Practice it in front of the mirror while you're brushing your teeth in the morning. Practice being comfortable saying that. It's hard for us to say nice things about ourselves. A lot of times we don't want to brag or boast or come off as cocky, but in this business, we have to be confident sharing our value with other people, or they'll go find someone else to work with who is confident sharing that value proposition. And we learned in 2023, 2024, that there were a lot of agents out there that weren't comfortable. They didn't even know what their value proposition was, right? And when they had to, as buyer's agents, say why I was valuable, they couldn't. So we're preparing you ahead of the rest of the agents in your area so that you've already got this and you're ready to share it. All right. We're going to look back to Ignite Session 1 again. This is where you envisioned your big life. I love to call this your big, beautiful life. You close your eyes, and you sit back, and you think about, my life was everything I could imagine it to be. What does my big, beautiful life look like? And then I'd like to think, are you thinking big enough? Could it be bigger? Because comfortability is going to keep you sitting in the same place, and we want to see you grow. So when you think about your big, beautiful life, are you thinking big enough? Is there anything you would change if you've been here from day one of the program? And as you're thinking about it now, are you living your big, beautiful life? Are you thinking big enough. In order to have the big, beautiful life you envision for yourself, you must be realistic about your income, more specifically, your profit goals. You must think big and aim high. And that's why I'm here today. Would someone read the quote on the screen? This is from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent about the big why.
One thing all high achievers have in common is they are working for a big why. The big why is about having a purpose, a mission, or a need that in turn gives you focus.
Who's heard of the big why before? You've been in Ignite a little bit.
Yep. Read the book.
Yeah. Read the book. Love it. We introduced the concept of the big why at day one in PC coaching, and it doesn't end when you graduate PC coaching. I coach the top 20% in my office, and we talk about their big why on the daily. Your big why may evolve over time. I know mine did. As you attain your goals, you set the benchmark out a little further. You set your benchmark.
Can I
out
ask a
little
quick
further.
question? You said that your big why changed. Can I ask what it changed from to what?
Yeah. My big why when I started real estate 30 years ago, before I had children and debt and all of that, was my big why initially was because I wanted to have things, right? And wanted to attain things. And now at this point in my big why is that I want to leave a legacy. So I'll share with you my big why. My big why is to be an impact player, to leave a legacy for my family, to participate in and teach wealth building, to create successful people in my wake. 30 years ago, that was not my big why. That was not what motivated me. So I think your big why can change over time, right? I love when I look around a room and I see agents that I've had an impact in their lives and they're succeeding at a high level. They're knocking my numbers off the charts. Like they're like closing 30 deals a month. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And you were a baby agent when we met. Like, that's awesome. Moving forward after Ignite, it is essential that you have a clear picture of your big why. So as the quote states, it's your purpose, mission, or need that gives you focus. Big why should be something that gets you excited and out of bed every morning. The thing that makes it so when you have a rough day, you turn around and go, things happen. I still have a mission that I'm on. I still have a drive and a desire. So let's dig into a little bit more. Let's look at your big why. A big why is big, and it's important to you, right? Big why does not have to be acceptable to anyone other than you. It gets you out of bed every morning, gets you excited to get busy. It brings you energy and focus. It's the ultimate turbocharger. And it's already present even if you haven't thought about it. Your big why could be what prompted you to go get your real estate license and log in and do the next class and do the next class. Your big why can be really big or it can be small big. So like I said before, when I started 35 years ago, my big why was, it was big for me at the time, right? It was about things. It was about having things. But now in retrospect, for me, it was small big. It doesn't matter. It's whatever drives you. Your big why should incorporate all the people in your life and all the good that you can provide them. So on your workbook on page 20.5, we're going to go ahead and answer the questions and then write out the big why for yourself to get clear on what matters for you. So, what topics or causes are most important to you? What matters to you? What gives you energy and fuels you personally? Not what you think other people think should fuel you, not what your significant other, not what fuels them. What gives you energy? What is something you could do even if you were not paid? What's something you would do even if you were not paid? No, it's not laundry. Oh, yeah, I don't get paid for that. And then what do you envision for yourself for the future? What does your big, beautiful life look like? Again, my big why, to be an impact player, to leave a legacy of wealth and knowledge for my family and all I come in contact with, to participate in and teach wealth building, to create successful agents that far outlast and outperform my accomplishments. And I'm telling you, that does get me out of bed in the morning. I have days where I'm like, oh, I've got a full schedule. I'm never going to get my to-do list done. Then I think about the impact I'm making on everyone's lives. And I'm like, so I don't respond to that email. I'm going to change a life today. So I don't get to watch that YouTube video or learn how to cook that roast just that special way. I'm going to make an impact and help a buyer become a homeowner. In order to have a big life, we must all have a big why. Our big why powers our big life. A great aspect of big why is it helps you say yes to what's important and no to what's not. Let me give you a minute. If someone would like to share their big why, Stacy, you've had a minute to, have you created a big why? Q?
My big why is kind of twofold. My first big why is to be out of debt and financially self-supporting so I can pass that on to my children. But the second part of that is to help others who are struggling coming into the industry and have self-doubts and don't think that they can, but to give them the tools and what they need to be able to succeed.
Love that. Would someone else share their big why? Ross? I told you, interactive, guys. Come on. You can do it. I understand big why can be kind of personal too, so I'm not going to press. All right. Thank you for sharing, Stacy. Appreciate that. So what are your ahas about mindset and your future? Because next
You know what? One thing that I would like to know that I don't think that we've nearly discussed enough in this class is, especially with the real estate industry, because you don't get paid until an actual transaction happens. The instant gratification that, you know, we all get with like the first paycheck or whatever it may be isn't there. So how do you get over the negative mindsets, the it's just going to be another day where nothing happens, the I don't think this is ever going to, you know, what do you do, what tools do you utilize to get over the struggling mental games that we play with ourselves because we just don't know yet?
Great question, and thank you for asking. That big why is going to help, right? If you think like big picture, like this is why I'm doing it, right? I'm doing it to educate other people and to help people grow, to help people become homeowners. Maybe you don't have someone that you're helping actively buy a house right now. Are you spending time educating yourself so that when that person comes into your life, you're going to be a great advisor for them? And that's a win, right? That's a win. The more things you can do preemptively, the more education you could soak up now, the better off you'll be when the floodgates open and you're just helping people, because you'll find less time for education and self-growth. So as far as the mental struggle, like you said, that instant gratification, we are all about that instant gratification. Find little ways to reward yourself, right? Find ways to say, wake up in the morning with a goal. It can be a big goal or a small goal, but one thing that you want to accomplish in that day. And when you get it done, celebrate it. Give yourself a pedicure, go for a long walk, crack open your favorite craft beer, whatever that looks like, whatever the celebration is to you. Call your auntie and tell your auntie, I helped someone today. Celebrate the small wins. Go ahead and brag on the little things that you do now, because it matters. It all accumulates just like snow. When that first snowflake hits the ground, doesn't look like much, but as we've all learned, it doesn't take but a few days of small snowflakes, few hours of small snowflakes to make a big impact on our lives. Does that help?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. We're getting into the fun stuff. We're talking money, guys. Any other ahas before we get there? Because this is a long class. All right. We're going to start this day out talking about the importance of running a smart money business. It is our intention that each one of you achieves your goals that you set out, and that you become highly successful in your business. Who loves accounting and keeping books in order? No, I'm just kidding. Me neither. We got into this business because we like people, right? Not because we like doing books, right? We like people. But if we don't take care of our books, we're not going to be able to help people. So let's begin with some financial knowledge. And again, don't worry, you don't have to be an accountant or tax advisor. You just need to know when to consult an expert. All right.
Wouldn't that be, wouldn't you consult an expert the moment you don't understand something financially?
You should, okay, so that's a great question. You should have a mentor in your life always, right? Millionaires have mentors, billionaires have mentors, trillionaires have mentors. You should always have someone that you can go to for every aspect of your life, whether it's personal growth, religion, financial help, investing, wealth building. You should have someone in your life that knows more about those things than you do. Because the best of your own intentions have gotten you right where you are today. And the only way to get beyond that is to have somebody who can advise you. And then once they've advised you and you've walked through that, you can advise others, right? Okay. Does this slide look familiar? Do you know these 6 jobs? The 6 big jobs of being a real estate agent. Number 1, Gary will say, is your job as a real estate agent. This is something you should do every day. If you were an employee on the clock, walking in the office at 8 o'clock in the morning, punching your time card, this is the one thing that should be done every day. So you've been learning about 1 through 5. And now we're going to be talking about number 6, managing the money. After you get paid for all of the diligent work, for calling the people on the phone, for presenting the offers, for showing people houses and knowing the market, for negotiating and writing contracts, and then coordinating all the pieces of the sale all the way to closing, you're going to get rewarded with a commission check. Yay, money! Because after all, we can't do any of this if we are not getting paid, right? Although we would love to. Because after all, we're all here to get paid and to develop a big business for yourself. Look at that. Woo, a commission check. You just earned your first commission check. Hopefully it's more than $1. But I'm going to tell you, sometimes we start with $400 or $500 commission checks, right, guys? Sometimes we have to become the experts of the small to become experts of the big, right? It's important to remember that getting paid in real estate industry is different than being on a salary, right? If you worked a 9 to 5, if you worked in an industry where you worked for someone, you got a check and then you were able to, your taxes were already taken out and you were able to budget off of your net, right? Off of what you had. It's a little different as a real estate agent. You get your check on closing and it's not to be put in your pocket and spent. Actually, there's some time and money management around what happens when that commission check comes in. There'll be expenses to pay. You'll have some upfront costs, right? Some things that you've extended on, and you'll have to save for taxes. And the way a lot of agents do is they save and they pay quarterlies. We won't go deep into that, but we will touch on the best way to save for taxes or to keep your taxes low so you're not hit with a giant bill in April of every year. So typically, when you get a commission check, let's say you're representing, doesn't matter. This is a little outdated because now there's buyer broker rep, but we're going to go off of this. Typically, let's say that as a buyer's representative, you negotiated that the seller was going to contribute to your commission in this example. So typically 50% goes to the co-op agent if you're doing a 50-50 split. And then about a third goes to the market center. This covers our company dollar, your franchise royalty, and any fees, your monthly fees. Okay, it did do. And then you've got a percentage that goes to your business expenses. That's another third back into your business to cover marketing, operating expenses, signs, your car, your phone, anything else that you need to conduct business and grow. Great news is some of those things are tax deductible. I'm not a tax lawyer, but you should definitely have one to help you with that. And then, don't forget, you have to save to pay for taxes. Finally, you see that little sliver there? You get your share. I know, it's a little disheartening, right? But the good news is we're going to show you how to maximize this and get that trip to Cabo. But it's a lot different than thinking you're going to get the full commission, isn't it? As I've told you before, it's important to start a habit right now to always put money away for your taxes first. About a third of all of your commission dollars should go into an account somewhere as a reserve for taxes. There are so many stories, and in 35 years, I've cried with people who did not. Highly successful agents who were never taught this in their business and did not make a habit of saving and had huge tax bills and penalties that they had to pay at the end of the year for several years over time. And we want to make sure that we set your expectations up and get you guys a really good foundation. It's a good time to remind you that there is a KWU course, Keller Williams University course, called Profitability and Agent Financials that you can find in Connect that will go deeper into that conversation.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What is a good percentage for marketing?
I'm sorry again, what about marketing?
Yes, for marketing, what is a good percentage that you can save?
We're going to go into that. It's called the 30-30-40 rule. And we're going to go, that'll be part of this. So just hang tight with me while we get there. All right. And it's time for this slide. All right, let's look at this example. We're going to talk about what's financially sound. Now, after watching where the commission goes, right? We're going to look at these two scenarios. This is a scenario of solo agent Jessica, where her share of the commission was $9,000. She sold a house. The commission check coming over from escrow was $9,000. And you've got in your participants guide on page 20.8, you can work along with me here on these different scenarios. Looks like 20.7. All right. So, is the $9,000 commission that Jessica receives profit or income?
Income.
Income, absolutely. It's income. We call this your GCI. You'll hear GCI thrown around a lot. We'll talk about this when you're talking to Tanya and doing your business reviews. We'll talk about your GCI, which is your gross commission income. Profit is what is left over for you to grow your business, save for taxes, and fund for your personal lifestyle. It's important to know the difference between income and profit, right? Income is money coming in. Profit is what you keep after you've paid for all the things. Now, why is Jessica getting a check for $5,760 if her commission was $9,000?
Part of it's for the other agent.
This is her share on that, so she's already got her split.
Oh, then she paid her part to her to the market center.
Perfect. Absolutely. her market center fees have been deducted before her check is cut. So the commission dollars come from escrow to your market center. And then at the market center, we do the splits. And congratulations at Keller Williams, you can earn 100% of that once you've reached cap. So until you've reached cap, we do the splits. And then you've got your $5,760. Now, which of these two scenarios is financially sound? We've got a scenario where Jessica drops $5,760 in her bank account, and then she's off to Ulta. She's planning a trip to Vegas with the girls. Or we've got this scenario where she gets her check for $5,760 and puts $1,700 into her business bank account, $4,000 into her personal account for taxes, and then $2,000 into her wallet for Ulta. Which one of those is the more financially sound scenario?
The second one.
Absolutely. She's saving for her taxes so she can pay for them over time. In this scenario, Jessica is saving 40% of her income for taxes. The rule of thumb I've always gone by is 33%, because I have a great tax advisor. Again, I'm not a tax advisor. Speak to yours. He'll know what your deductions are and what you're claiming. Everybody's a little different there. Most agents receive little or no guidance on how to handle their first or any commission check. Like I said, there's been many that I've known that have been like, here's my check for $5,700 and I'm going to go buy me a new car. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Just like you don't want your buyers to go buy a new car the day before closing. Please don't do that. Incorporate these financially sound business practices into your business from the start. All right. Now that we have a clear understanding of the importance of being financially sound, let me ask what is the purpose of business? Why are we in this, guys? It's okay to say it, make money, right? We're here to make money. It's profit, right? You have the money to do good for your family and your community. So I'll read this one. This is one of my favorite quotes. I've been quoting it a lot this week because I'm actually doing a fundraiser. Money is good for the good money can do. What good will you have your money create for you? What good will you have your money do for you? I'm come from a family that struggled with money. We didn't talk about money. Money was a voodoo subject. So I'm teaching my children how to talk about money. And we talk about it a lot. What good will the money do for you? All right. On page 20.9 in your workbook, we're going to talk about the flow of money. Let's explore the differences between income and profit and how you think about it, the way you think about it, so that we can change some of that. Some of you already have a good understanding of it. You want to think or change the outcome of your business. If you've taken an accounting course, you probably already know this formula, which is income less expenses equals profit. Well, the formula to calculate profit is important. It's not the model we use and set and track our profit goals each month. Instead, we ask ourselves the following strategic questions in right there in your participation guide. So, profit. How much money do I intend to have in my bank account at the end of the year? What is my profit goal? After I've paid for everything, what's that number? And then income. How many homes do I need to sell to achieve my profit goal? Don't worry if you don't know the number. We're going to break it down. We're going to go into that. And then expenses. How can I minimize my expenses to maximize my net income? I'm going to tell you, 33 years ago, when I listed a house, I used to have to take an ad out in the newspaper, which cost me money. I used to have to drive and drop off flyers to everybody who wanted information on the house, which cost me money. I had to mail things out to tell other agents to tell them I had, yes, it's before email, guys, to tell them I had a new listing, right? I had to walk into other offices with an armful of flyers and say, hey, here's my new listing. Here's my new listing. You guys have social media. Congratulations. Things I spent money on when I started my career are now free to you. You've already cut your expenses. But you have to think about this like a business owner, right? What are things I can do cost effectively so that I'm not spending more than I'm earning? Thinking about it this way helps us focus on profit rather than income, right? As a top agents that I work with do, they don't think about the money that's coming in as the big number. They think about how many households, how many families they have to help in order to hit their income goal. I have to close 4 transactions this month to cover my overhead, right? These sorts of, they're not thinking about numbers in the dollars and figures. Thinking of it this way helps us focus on profit rather than income. So we're clear, where does our real estate income come from? Anybody know? Listing income comes from transactions with sellers, right? You'll get an income off of listing a home when you have a seller, when you have a closing. Sell income comes from transactions with buyers. I've heard somebody else saying they were working on this model. Referral income comes from agents who pay you a portion of their commission for referring them a client, right? And then lastly, leasing income comes from the use of your service to help find someone a property to lease. We see that more in the commercial side of things, but we have some residential agents that do that as well. All right, now let's talk about expenses. This is where we're going to break down what expenses are, and we're going to get to how much should be divided into the different houses here. There are 2 types. These are really important to understand. One of them is the cost of sale, and the other one is operating expenses. So your cost of sale expenses only occur when you have a transaction. An operating expense occurs every day that your business is in operation. Your cell phone bill is a operating expense, right? You're going to pay for that whether or not you have a closing. Your commission split with the company is a cost of sale. It only happens when there's a sale. It's important to understand that the cost of being in business with the Market Center and the cost are the company dollar, the royalty, and any referral fees. So when you're paying a referral fee to someone, that is cost of sales. If you have employees, and you may get to the point where you have someone on your payroll, transaction coordinator, marketing team, they're going to want to get paid whether or not you have a closing. So that's going to go into your operating expense. The company dollar that agents pay is determined by the market center and will vary by market. Does anybody know what your company dollar is? Do you know what your cap is? Do you know what your split is? At Keller Williams, we're on a 70-30 split, which means you get 70% of all of your, so of every dollar, you get 70 cents. Keller Williams gets 30 cents or $3,000 on a $10,000, right? So we cap that at $12,000. So once you've paid to Keller Williams $12,000, you're capped. So that is the $12,000 is your cost market center company dollar. Your royalty is capped at $3,000. That's what Uncle Gary gets for promotion of Keller Williams, the access to all that the brand brings to you, the international recognition, and that's capped at $3,000. You'll also have operating expenses. These expenses
I have a question.
Yeah.
It's for the TC, the transaction coordinator. If the transaction coordinator get a percentage of each transaction, it's no operating expensive.
No, transaction coordinator is going to be, well, it depends. It depends, right? If I have a transaction coordinator on my staff that shows up in my office every day and does my marketing for me and is doing my day-to-day operations and they're getting a paycheck from me, they are an expense. If I have a transaction coordinator that does all of that up front and only gets paid out of my commissions at closing, that is a cost of sale. So it depends on how you have that set up.
Perfect, thank you.
If they're a W-9 employee, they're an expense to me. Okay, so just again to be clear, when you have no transactions, there is no cost of sale, right? There's no commission splits. There's no, if your transaction coordinator gets paid only when you have a closing, they're only doing the paperwork through the life of the transaction. That's not an expense. However, there are always operating expenses. You'll always have a phone bill. You'll always have gasoline. You'll always have a market center fee. If you rent an office, you'll always have an office space fee, right? Those are your expenses. In your participants guide, you'll see a checklist of the best practices of having a smart money business. We're on 2009 best practices for a smart money business, about halfway down. This is a list. This list is a great way to put in your path that you'll ensure your financial well-being. You'll be able to check off the first item on this list, given your experience now in determining your big why. So you've already, your best practices for your smart money business, gain clarity on your big why. We did that. The next thing is set your personal business, your personal and business budgets. Knowing what you spend each month on expenses is key to one, knowing are you spending on things that you don't need to spend on in your business that you could be doing for free? Are you underspending on things? Is your business budget and your personal budget getting confused? Are we mingling that, right? We want to try to keep that as separate as possible from day one. Have a business account for your business expenses. Know what your business expenses are and keep a tight rein on what you're spending in your business. Open additional banking accounts for taxes and other expenses. Like I said, like I like to have a bank account where 33% of every single one of my commission checks goes into that bank account that I cannot touch. Mine's actually at a bank I don't even, I've got all my accounts in one bank, and then I've got another bank account at Brand X Bank where I just, every time I get a check, they get 33%. I don't get notifications on that account. I don't have an ATM card to that account. It's just money in, money in. I don't have it set up so I can withdraw to my primary account from that account. I can only send money from my primary account to that account. Download and use the MREA chart of accounts. That's another class for another day, the MREA chart of accounts, but that is your profit and loss statement, basically. That's a great class. Purchase and download tax accounting software. It can be TurboTax. It can be, there's several of them out there, but use tax accounting software, or hire a CPA or attorney or tax advisor, and make sure you're in regular contact with them and that you're talking about, hey, I heard other realtors pay quarterlies. How can I do this? Hey, is now a good time for me to set up a SEP account? And we'll get into those too, a little deeper into this conversation. Set up dates to calculate and pay your estimated taxes. I recommend doing a bank recon on your bank account every month. When you get your statement, your bank statement every month, go through that bank statement and highlight anything that is an absolute must in green. Like, I have to pay this, absolute must. And then anything that's like, this happens periodically and it's like to have, like, this is a convenience that I like to have in my life. And then anything that's not a must or a convenience that you like to have, the random $5 for this, $30 for that keeps adding up, highlight that in yellow. We call that playing red light, green light. And it'll help you if you start doing that today. Even if you don't change your spending patterns, if you just start doing a recon on your bank statement every month with those 3 highlighters, you'll see like where the red is on that, and you'll start being able to manage your budget a little bit. And your CPA will love you. All right. What better way to lead generate? Let's go here. Think about who you may be able to help, who might be able to help you on this last 2 lines, right? On the hiring an accountant or CPA or tax attorney, and preparing for your future, insurance, savings, and investments. Think about who you know who could help you in these areas. What better way to lead generate and find valuable resources, not only for you, but for your clients, right? What a great way to connect with people. If you don't have a CPA, go find a CPA. Say, hey, I'm new in real estate. Talk to me about what this looks like, how I can plan and prepare. Oh, by the way, I may be coming in contact with potential buyers or sellers who don't have a CPA. Can I have a stack of your business cards? Oh, by the way, maybe you'll know someone who needs a realtor. Here's a stack of my business cards. Great way to start building those relationships. All right. Who's heard this one before? My ladies are rocking it. How about you guys? It was the Ulta conversation, right? You didn't. We got anybody on the call that wants to read this one out loud for me?
Think and act the wage and you want before you earn it. Average is as average does. Good is as good does, and great is as great does. What you do is who you become.
Who wants more success in their career? Whoop, whoop. What are your thoughts on this quote? Have you heard this one before? Or a version of it? Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, something very similar, like fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it. Act and dress and think like the person you want to be, not the person you are today. The best of your thinking got you where you are, but it's not going to get you where you want to go. Right? There's lots of little quotes that kind of fall in line with this one. In order to have a smart money business, you need money. You don't intend on making average money or good money. You expect to make great money and do great things so that you can live that big, beautiful life that we spoke about. Let's revisit the income goal that you set for yourself. And if you didn't do chapter 1, you probably have a number in your head already, organically, right? My income goal. Your income goal you might want to make that a little bigger now that we talked about the difference between profit and income, right? That income goal might need to be a little bigger so that we can hit that profit goal. Are you thinking and acting the wage you intend on even before you earned it? Are there any changes you'd make now after working on your success system and learning so much more about your real estate business? I think we all kind of at this point have a realization we need to earn more so that we can profit more, right? With a quick calculation, this is on page 2010. Go ahead and throw some numbers in there. And some people work backwards and some people work forward on this, but with a quick calculation, who can tell me how many transactions they must complete each month to reach their net income goal? This one's really helpful in getting that picture really clear. So your income goal, you want to divide line F by line 12. Or line 11. I guess we don't have 11 and 12 on here. Why does it say that? So if you have a net income goal of $120,000 and your company dollar and royalty cap is less 15% of your GCI, just not, it's less 35%, 36%. And your business expenses are 30%. I just realized there's a grave error on this. They need to fix this.
It says 35 on there, so wouldn't it just
It
be your
does,
net
it should
income
be-
minus 50% because that's 35 plus 15?
Mm-hmm.
So then my gross income, because my original was 100,000, so that would bring it down to 50,000.
Yep.
I think I need to adjust my net income goal.
Yep. by a third at least, right? Or maybe even 60% if you hadn't considered taxes. Because that's another third. Have you calculated what your average commission is in your area? We'll all have a different average commission, by the way. It's not a standard. So they say by dividing D by E, your average commission and your total commission income, you'll get your annual transaction goal. That makes more sense than what's written down. So how many closings do you think you need to, how many transactions to hit your goal? And here's a quick way just to do the math the way my brain thinks. Say my goal is 120,000. Let's give a stretch goal, 150,000. And my average commission is 8,000. Then I need to do 19 transactions to hit that goal. And here's the thing that you need to consider, right? Does every real estate transaction close? Gosh, I wish they did. I wish every offer I ever wrote in 35 years closed. They don't. Sometimes things fall out of escrow. So if I wanted to hit my goal and I needed 19 to hit that goal, I probably need to add 5 more onto that just to consider fallout, right? So I need 24 deals. So that's 2 a month, right? 2 a month. So now I know what my monthly transaction goal is. I need to do 2 a month to put $150,000 worth of income on line A. And then I can reduce my company dollar and my business expenses to know what I have to work out between marketing and my cost of sell and my expenses, right? My marketing is going to go in my expenses house, right? Let me real quick. We're going to talk about getting paid. No, we're not going to do this one yet. Somebody asked me a question earlier, and I want to give you a good answer about your budget. Just 1 second. Because I haven't seen it come up yet.
Was that Joanna asking about the marketing expense and the percentage that should be spent on that under
Yeah,
your business expenses?
exactly. So let me. Here we go. Let me ask my KWIQ because I don't remember off the top of my head. Here we go. Ready? This is not helping me. 1 second. I like to have facts in front of me before I speak, so sometimes we just have to slow down to speed up. Seriously? I thought I had a graphic for this. Company dollar, other expenses. We should be right here. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, so here we go. Keller Williams calls it the 30-30-40. This is a budget model where 30% of your revenue or income is allocated to your cost of sales. And what did we say cost of sales were? That only happens if you have a sell, right? So that's your company dollar, that's your commission splits. That's if you're paying a transaction coordinator that gets paid on a closing basis, right? 30% should go to your cost of sales. 30% should go to your expenses. That's your marketing budget. That's any advertising costs. If you're running a raffle, the cost to build out the raffle items, unless you have a sponsor, for that would fall under expenses. And then 40% of that should be your net profit. So off of, right, the check that comes from the title company to the market center, 30% should go to cost of sales, 30% to expenses, and 40% is your net profit. And that, my friends, is the Keller Williams budget model. And we have a whole class for that. It's a super good one too. All right, how are we doing on time? We are rolling right up on the end of this. Good, so we'll have some time for Q&A. Now that you have an understanding of real estate finances and have how to run a smart money business, or at least a good idea to start tracking it and getting there, right? Let's discuss how to get paid. Your market center administrator, who knows who that is? Who knows who your MCA is? Unmute, shout her name out. I'm going to record so she hears everybody say it. It's Tanya.
Hey, Tanya?
Tanya's your MCA, but who's the guy that we talk commissions with? Does anybody had a closing yet? Have you got to talk to Gian? Okay, Gian is our commission. So Tanya's our CFO. She's also your market center administrator. We call her the MCA. And Gian is her right hand. He's the one that does the issuing of the commission checks. The two of them together work on the back end of command to make sure that once you have approval on all of your documents and you have completed the commissions tab in Command, that when the money comes from escrow to us, we can get that money wired to you. Because at the end of the day, we all want to get our money, right? We all want to get our money in a timely manner. So if you need help with that, you've got Tanya. You have a Market Center Tech Trainer, Agent Services in each of your locations. I know you know who that is. In Sunset Corridor, it's Adriana. In Capital City, it's Lynn. In Eugene Springfield, it's Ashley. And here in Medford, in Southern Oregon, it is Allison. So that's your Market Center Tech Trainer or your Agent Services person. And of course, your productivity coach, right? These are all people who can help you through the process in Command, that can teach you how to use Command opportunities, which is our Keller Williams lingo for transaction management, right? And how to submit your commissions request or your commissions tab. This is the part that catches all agents, even my experienced agents. They'll get all their paperwork turned in to Command. Everything will get approved in Command. A check will come over from escrow and they'll be like, why haven't I got paid? And we tell them your commissions tab is not complete. So learning how to submit your opportunity and complete it, wrap it up with a bow by completing that commissions tab is really important. So when you have your first transaction, make sure that you set some time with Mara to learn how to do that, or with your agent services coordinator. The other thing is about that commissions tab. I've had people say, well, I uploaded my commission demand. Your commissions tab is your last step in the checks and balances to make sure that, one, we received the commission check from escrow that you were expecting. Sometimes at the last minute at the closing table, you'll find out you need to buy a home warranty for a client, and that will come off at the table. And your commission demand that you turned in halfway through your transaction will no longer match what you're expecting from escrow, right? Sometimes you help pay for a water heater last minute. Sometimes, you know, it's all just good business. So that commissions tab is the last checks and balance to make sure that what we received from escrow matches what you walked away from the closing table expecting to receive. That any expenses being paid out, if you're paying for a home warranty, if you're paying for a home inspection, anything that needs to come off on our end, a transaction coordinator gets dealt with. My recommendation to you, have everything taken out of at escrow. Have escrow pay your transaction coordinator. Have escrow pay for the home warranty if it's coming off of your commission. Have escrow pay for anything that's coming off of your commission before that comes to us. It just makes it cleaner and easier for us. So when you write your first offer, understand that you need to understand how to close it at the end too, and make sure you get that training then. None of it will matter right now until you actually do it. All right. Whew, we covered a lot. What are your ahas or questions about running a smart money business?
I had just one question. If you are splitting commission, let's say through like OpCity, like a referral plus the amount that goes to like the brokerage, is the agent on for like the taxes, like the original amount paid out, or only the amount that they end up getting at the very end? Like
So
after
that's
it's paid out, that's the taxes they'd want to account for.
great question. You are getting taxed on your gross commissionable income. So you are getting taxed on the number that comes over from escrow.
Okay, so if you got like $10,000, let's say, and you need to account for like 30 300 of that, even though you might only get like 2,000 of it at the end.
Mhm. Mhm. Great news
Uh,
is a great CPA will help you with your write-offs and your business expense allocations so that you don't get a giant hit on that.
I was gonna say, yeah, because right now a lot of my deals are through like OpCity, plus I'm in the brokerage thing, and that's been my biggest like thing being a new agent. Is like if I'm having to take low end deals just to get something out there, I'm like, oh God, I might end up losing money by the end of the year and paying a huge tax. I'm like, I didn't get anywhere, you know?
Ask your CPA or your tax advisor about referrals when you're paying a referral. Again, that's why I said have escrow pay those things for you,
Gotcha.
right? Have that money come off before it comes to the brokerage.
I will look at that.
Yeah. I'm not a tax advisor. I don't know all the tax rules. Find somebody who does. I was just talking with a lender today and they were like, gosh, getting into the real estate industry, like there's a lot of upfront costs in that, right? You got to go do your education and then you got to pay your association of realtor fees and your MLS dues every month and your office bill and you're paying for your marketing pieces. Is that I think OpCity is you can call that a marketing expense, and I think there's a tax loophole for that. Not a loophole, but deduction for your marketing. There's that. So make sure you're keeping track of that.
Cool. Yeah, I never thought of it that way, so that'd definitely be worth considering. Thank you.
Yeah. The great news is there's a ton of money to be made in real estate. I wouldn't be doing this for 35 years if there wasn't. I would have found another job that's less stress. We're in the business of helping people and changing people's lives. Again, part of my big why is that, right? Changing people's lives. That's what gets me up and out of bed every day. Getting a good understanding of where your money comes from and where your money goes. A lot of people just don't pay attention to it, right? They know I got $6,000 to spend this month and my housing's going to cost me this, my utilities is going to cost me that, my car payment's going to cost me this. Now I got $400 left to live on for the rest of the month. Am I eating out? Am I getting Starbucks? Well, when you're an independent contractor, there's a few more things to consider. So again, playing red light, green light with your monthly bank statement is going to give you a really good understanding of where the money's going so that you can get a handle on your expenses so that you can survive your first year in real estate. Surviving the first year is the biggest struggle. And once you've done that, I hope your PC coach celebrates big with you because you have done what 30% of the real estate industry can't do, which is survive their first year. And once you survive your third year in real estate, it's all cookies and cream and downhill from there. It's so easy. So do it. You've already done the education. You plugged through Ignite classes and you're going to keep plugging through it. There are people out there who need you, and there's a good living to be made in this industry. Any other questions or ahas? All right, guys. That's where I'm going to wrap it up for you today. Did I give you some time back? Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. We have a great class in Southern Oregon happening tomorrow. If you haven't heard about it, it is regarding fire insurance. I don't know about if you guys are hearing about that up in your world. You're welcome to join us. It is via Zoom. If you've got time tomorrow at 9 a.m. We're working on calendars for each of the market centers. So the April calendars are looking pretty robust right now. Lots of fun stuff coming your way. If you've got a class or if you heard about a class on the call today and you don't know where to find the resources, get in touch with Mara. She's got access to all of the KWU courses, some of the other classes that we talked about during the course today. And there's lots of coaching to be done in your niches and to support you in getting your business up and running. Don't panic. Don't panic. Use this time to educate yourselves, because when you get busy, you'll be dying for time to educate yourself. So really, really use this time to get as much education in. That's my advice for you. I look forward to celebrating with you next year at the appreciation event and seeing all the great stuff you guys do in 2025. Make it a great year, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining me
Thank
today.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.